Hi, welcome back to another video as promised. This episode is going to be about drawing the back. Depending on the musculature of the person you're drawing or the character you're drawing, some muscles are going to be more pronounced, some muscles are going to be less pronounced. So there are 5 muscles that we're going to look at, which are muscles which will show up more often, and we're going to be looking at 2 different books and the way they approach sketching the back. So TB Choi's book, drawing manga characters, and Michale Hampton's book, figure drawing and anatomy. Yeah, so let's get into it. So first muscle that I'm going to talk about here is going to be the erector spinae, and that's going to create this kind of crease that you see here on the bodies. It's the crease that you see in the middle of the back. That's what the muscle creates. So let's sketch that out. Same sort of approach as the last video. Drawing circles helps. You can always put like a box shape. Which also helps. You can always put like a box shape like that. So let's connect these two. Make it more opaque. Yeah, and you can imagine it as like balloons being, a balloon that's being stretched. 2 balloons that are being stretched. So it's going to show up here. On the back. And then, yeah, you'd have the neck about there. But yeah, that's where the erector spinae comes up. And what we can do you can actually colour that in. So that's the erector spinae. It's muscle 1. Muscle 2 is the latissimus dorsi, and that will encompass a whole bunch of muscles, but it will go over the erector spinae. So same again, we're going to draw those 2 circle shapes. And the latissimus dorsi is kind of like a really wide, I guess imagine it like a really wide piece of fabric that's being stretched. Same again, we can put like a neck here. This is the latissimus dorsi, and I'm just going to color that in. It's very crude coloring, but it gives you an idea of where the muscle is. But yeah, the latissimus dorsi is going to encompass a bunch of muscles. And while we're at it, I can draw another muscle in. Either side, closer to the bottom half of the torso, you're going to have the obliques. Obliques also show up on the front side of the body as well. But yeah, the obliques are going to be there. Just to show where this is. Right here is where you see the obliques, and then you might also see it here as well, the obliques. Obviously this line here is the erector spinae, and the latissimus dorsi is actually creating this kind of shape that you see at the edge of the obliques there and there. Like, it doesn't really show up as some kind of wide cape like that, but that is how it's stretching. Yeah, so latissimus dorsi is muscle 2, obliques is muscle 3. So fourth muscle that I'm gonna look at is it's a group of muscles in the scapula. So this is your shoulder blade, and the shoulder blade shows up right here, and then on this image it shows up right there, and you can see that, you know, there are other indentations. Those are the 4 different muscles contained in the shoulder blade. So just to show that, gonna draw the bones, and then I'm gonna put the muscles over the top. So first of all, at the top we're gonna have the supraspinatus, and don't feel terrible if you don't get all the names. I don't really remember all the names myself. Supraspinatus at the top, and then underneath that you have a bigger shape. This is the infraspinatus. And then you've got the teres minor and the teres major. But yeah, you'll see that come up as a shape kind of like this. If it's someone less muscular, it might look like that. If it's more muscular, then maybe you will see more of like the pronounced shape of those four muscles, and then you'd have like, yeah, you'd have the deltoid somewhere there as well. You know, why not? Let's color that in to help out. And then finally we've got like everyone's favorite muscle. Well, I don't know if it's everyone's favorite, but it's probably one of the most well-known muscles, but we've got the trapezius, which will show up as like this kind of star shape. And that will cover the upper half of the back and also the neck. So on this guy you can see that star shape here, kind of like this. On this person you don't really see it as much. Maybe you can see these edges, but you don't really see where it finishes off. Maybe you could draw it in, but you don't see it pronounced. And that's what I mean. Some of these shapes are more pronounced, some of them are less pronounced, so depending on who you're drawing, it's gonna change. So yeah, that's muscle 5. So just to go over what we've covered, the erector spinae, that creates a crease down the middle. We've got the latissimus dorsi, which will actually encompass the erector spinae, the muscles, part of the muscles in the scapula, and it also covers part of the obliques as well. We've got the obliques, which are on the lower half of the body either side of the latissimus dorsi, and then we've got the trapezius muscles, which create that kind of star shape in the portion of the upper back. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you TB Choi's method of constructing this. She doesn't have as many pages or sketches of the back in her book, but I do like the way that she breaks it down. So what she'll do is she'll split the body up into different segments. So we've got segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. Segment 3 is going to be where the gluteus maximus is, the bottom. Segment 2 is going to be where the latissimus dorsi is, and that's going to create this kind of shape here that you see. Either side we're going to have the obliques, and then in the upper half of this upper half she draws that kind of, well, the shape of the shoulder blades. So shoulder blades are going to be here and here. Yeah, she'll draw the shoulder blades, and then maybe you'd have the neck kind of like this. Let's say you had a head. Very crude drawing, I know, but I'm just getting the point across. Yeah, but she'll have 3 segments. So just to recap that, she'll have segment 1, which is going to show you where the shoulder blades are. Segment 2 is going to show you the latissimus dorsi. And the obliques. Segment 3, gluteus maximus. But we'll get into that when we draw the legs in a later episode. But yeah, now that we've covered how the 2 books approach this style of, approach how to draw the back, let's sketch some of our own. I'm gonna start off with this one, and this is really just the upper back. It is always kind of the same sort of process, drawing that circle and then using that as a building block to sketch off. And if you struggle with just the circle, you can always put in that box shape so you can see or think more in 3D. So I'm gonna have the rest of the arm there, and then right here you can see where that shoulder blade is. I rub this out so it's more apparent. But yeah, we're gonna have that shoulder blade. And then same sort of thing on the other side, shoulder blade and shoulder blade. And then you have where the erector spinae is, really faintly in the middle there. Just going to take my rubber, rub that out. But you can see we didn't end up with a ton of muscles on this in this person here. It's literally just the shoulder muscles or the shoulder blade, and then you do have the trapezius, but that star kind of shape that we get for the trapezius is barely visible. Like, you can't even see the end part of it here. Okay, let's continue. Same again, circle. Sometimes something that helps is drawing the spine. So if you do the circle and then you do the spine down the middle to indicate the direction that the body is kind of tilting towards, and it's the same sort of thing as like when you draw that cross intersection for the head. And you can think of the body as like an hourglass shape. Something that I picked up from an artist called Keenan Lafferty is that if you're drawing a male, then the upper half is going to be wider. If you're drawing a female, then the lower half is going to be wider. And that's just because of childbearing, or the ability to childbear. But yeah, drawing that kind of hourglass shape. We've got the erector spinae down the middle. You can see even here, it's like, it's not super pronounced, but we've got the shoulder blades. Either side. And we can kind of see the obliques, or the latissimus dorsi, right at the lower half here. The latissimus dorsi, and then we've got the obliques, which is there. We've got that neck kind of shape, and you can't really see the trapezius. No, you can't really see it. But yeah, that's probably as much detail as I'd go into. It's up to you how much detail you want to put into sketches and stuff, but you can see here we've just got shoulder blades, something to indicate the latissimus dorsi, and the obliques. I guess likewise you could do it on the other side as well if you wanted. Okay, let's do one more. And this example is going to be more of like a muscular man. But here, everything's kind of a lot more apparent. You can draw that big circle here. You can draw that kind of hourglass shape. Here you can see the trapezius. It's really visible. One second. Let me just draw this spine in as well. There we go. But yeah, you've got the trapezius muscle here, which is really, really visible. You've got the shoulder blade muscles either side. You've even got the, what do you call it? That kind of balloon shape that I was talking about. And then you could do this to indicate like the latissimus dorsi. And either side, I'm gonna draw where those deltoid muscles are. And as I say in all of my videos, by no means is my drawing 100% accurate, but hopefully this breaks down anatomy in a way that you can understand it and that you can sketch it for yourself. And then obviously we've got where the head is. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So hopefully this episode has helped. Hopefully it helps you sketch out backs, and I definitely recommend going on Pinterest, going on Google, and just, or if you can find references, so like Studio Graphite does really good references, and I can put the link to that in the description as well. So hopefully that's helped. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one where we're going to look at drawing arms.